This is James Cochran. This is our Great British Chef Signature Series. My dream from when I was a kid was always to have my own restaurant, and I said to myself that I would never open a restaurant in London. And I did, and I failed my first one, but people would say you learn from your mistakes, didn't you? Yeah, I've been cooking loads at home and we're really enjoying it. It's always usually just a rush, you know what I mean? Something just to fill up, so yeah, I've loved it. For me, the most important thing is putting a smile on customers' faces. So we've got some beautiful scallops from Orkney, Scotland that came in this morning from my main man, Henderson Seafoods. Again, this is quite an interesting dish as well because I'm going to be bringing a little bit of my kind of West Indian to it. So we're going to be serving the scallop in the shell, but we're going to be shucking the scallop. We're going to take the roe and we're going to basically kind of lightly cure that and then dehydrate that and turn that into a powder. And basically that's going to be the seasoning for the scallop. So first thing I'll do is I'm going to shuck the scallops. So ideally, you don't want to use a sharp knife to be doing the scallops because you don't want a blunt knife, but literally bring a knife in there, broken like that. If you look in, you can see the base of it is where the actual scallop is. See, and then basically I'm going to be running my knife down here on the angle face down to keep a nice clean cut. Sweet, just have a nice between there, and look, hardly anything on the shell. All I've done here is kept that knife angled down like that and just scraped away and get a nice clean away from the shell. We're going to keep these shells. We're going to keep these as well because we're going to be serving them in there. So again, you can see I've got a nice clean cut on the scallop there. And basically I'll explain to you. So here you've got the roe, the skirt is here. And again, this has lovely, beautiful flavour in it. What a lot of restaurants again do is they literally just take this prime bit and then throw away everything else that is really not, it's really sacrilege in some kind of ways. These skirts, you will not believe how much flavour they have in it. So the next process now is we're going to take the scallop out of its shell. Look there, you can see that's the muscle there. Turn it over. If you run your finger down there, all you're going to do now is just run your thumb around. It's like a little membrane comes away basically there. Sweet, okay, perfect. But first of all, I'm going to put the shells on to boil. Yep, so now we're just going to clean the shells down. Just got scallop shells here. Now we're just going to give these a little clean up basically. So now I'm just going to wash the scallops clean. Make sure there's no kind of grit or any dirt on it. And then basically we're just going to let these dry off. Now scallop skirts. Literally just going to cut that off. They're probably one of my favourite shellfish. That and oysters. Purely because where I was brought up in Whitstable quite famous for its oysters. But yeah, scallops I think are just beautiful sweetness. They're just as good raw as they are kind of pan fried. So we've got the skirts here, got the roes there. I'm just going to give these a wash, the roes. I've got some salt and some sugar. And then basically it's like lightly curing these, okay? A bit of sugar. I just want to leave that now, ideally, for about 4 hours. The scallop roes have now been here for about 4 hours or so. It's kind of lightly curing, okay? So now, just going to line this. Doesn't stick. I've literally just washed off the salt and sugar kind of solution and put them onto the tray. Put this in your oven before you go to bed at night. Come up in the morning, it'll be dehydrated. If you dehydrate something, you intense the flavour by 3 to 4 times of its original structure or product. So what we're doing there, we're dehydrating the oven. We're going to blend that into a powder. We're going to put a bit of salt in there. So basically you're going to have like this rose salt. So basically I'm washing off all the grit off of the, all the grit and dirt all out of the skirts. You can see how they look, how they change in colour. Remember from before when they were like, they had that kind of that orangey tinge around it. Look now, they're all beautiful and white. So now we're going to make our scallop skirts veloute type stock. So all I'm going to do now is put the skirts into the pan. With the shallots, garlic and ginger. And basically going to be cooking this down for the next 5 minutes, okay? And a bit of salt in there. Let that just kind of sweat down now. And then all we're going to do literally is going to cover that with water and make like just a nice like stock. What you want to do is you don't want to cook it for like 45 minutes like a normal stock where you cook it for like 3-4 hours. I'm only going to keep it on there for 20 minutes. So I just want to get a natural freshness coming out of the actual scallop skirt. Anything over that is going to taste a bit stewed. And we'll have, because you're working with so delicate flavours, you want everything to be really nice and clean. Now to the next process, we're going to make the coconut gel. So agar naturally comes from a seaweed extract, and basically it's going to set it. Perfect. We're going to bring this to the boil. A lot of people would maybe use like corn flour, maybe flour and thickening sauces, maybe use gelatine to set stuff. So it's a great additive to use for vegans and vegetarians, and you can use it in desserts or use it really for anything basically. Okay, so this one here now, you kind of see it's kind of nicely kind of sweated down. Yeah, so literally all I've done is cover it with water, and that's it, nothing else. And basically we're going to bring that to the boil and just let that kind of simmer down. So this is literally the coconut milk and the agar. It's come to the boil. Then I'm just going to put it, transfer it into a plastic container or anything you got. And again, that goes into the fridge. If you're cooking this at home or you're cooking it for friends, you could do this sauce the day in advance. So it's all about planning all your things way in advance. Basically, we've done the like the veloute type stock, and that's just going to be really nice, clean scallop juice. And then basically what we'll do now is just pass it through. Okay, then now we're just going to add a little bit of lemon juice. It's just going to bring some of the natural flavours out of it. So now we're going to blend up the coconut gel. So if you have a look now, you can see it's completely set. So literally into the blender. Oh, beautiful. So what you could do if you haven't got a blender, you can literally just finely just dice it down basically. You can put little flecks that over the plate. Okay, so then literally just going to pass this through a sieve again. This is going to coconut gel. Just going with the plate. Okay, perfect. Basically what we're going to do now is we're going to cut some disc out. I would advise everyone, if you're going to be making this dish, to literally go out and invest in a little ring cutter. And basically cut that out. So again, nasturtiums, just literally go and buy some and grow them yourself. They're pretty tasty little things. Scallops, let's get the scallops back out. I'm going to slice these down. Don't be too worried, a bit of thickness on it is nice. And when you get to here, you can put it down each side like that, and literally put your hand on top. And again, if you're going to be getting your scallops, avoid the supermarkets and get involved with your fishmonger. Literally get him to shuck all the scallops for you, clean up all the skirt and give you the roast. Got the plate here, and you don't want to, you want a scallop shell to be able to sit nice, so literally some salt. Scallop shell, again will sit nicely on there. Okay, scallops in, a little bit of salt. Then like your scallop juice. And again guys, just make sure you be tasting as you're going through. Okay, you just want to lay these nicely. And then just going to take some of that juice. Every little bit of scallop you're going to be tasting some of that nice sweetness. It's like an additive. Okay, now next with the apple. The apple is just there for tartness. Now with the coconut gel. I'm just filling in little gaps anywhere. There's no real kind of style to this. So really kind of every mouthful you're going to be tasting a little bit of that coconut. Cool, so then next we're going to add a little bit of the rye powder on top. And now we're going to finish off with some nasturtiums. Cool, beautiful. So you got raw Orkney scallops, scallop juice, green apple, rye powder, coconut gel, and nasturtium leaves. And then just to finish it off, a little lid on top.